welcome to Ultimate Survival Gear. Today, as you guys can see, I have a little tiny something in my hands here today. Let's open up this little container and see what we got on the inside. And on the inside, we have an excellent cooking solution for your hiking, camping needs, and obviously survival, since this is Ultimate Survival Gear channel. We have a portable camping stove from AOTU. I think I'm pronouncing this correctly, but I will put the Amazon link in the description below so you actually can check it out and pronounce it however you want, however you like. But basically, this is a cheaper alternative for well-known MSR pocket rocket. Yes, and if you're wondering how much cheaper, 6 times cheaper. And I think it might in a way be better than the MSR, but you'll have to stick around for the whole review and testing that we're gonna do on on this channel in this video to find out why it is better. But let's start from the very beginning, because you already know this review is not just for camping and hiking purposes. No, if this was a serious situation, you were surviving, you had this in your kit, in your backpack, and you had to leave the house, something bad happened and you were walking for miles and miles, obviously something we do on a regular basis if you're a backpacker, camper, hiker like myself, climber. Yes, this is actually very good for climbing as well, but we'll talk about all of that later. But again, back to serious situation, it wasn't just for fun, you are actually surviving. Would something like this be good with you, or is it, I mean, just for, you know, recreational purposes? Well, how do we make the judgment? Well, in this particular section, we're gonna make the judgment based on 5 different criteria. Let's begin with the criteria number 1, of course, the application. Do I really need something like this? Is this applicable to me, or am I just wasting my time? Well, like I said in the beginning, this is a portable stove, so this is one of the options for you to have as a cooking solution, and you really have to decide in advance, what do you want your cooking solution to be? Are you using a stove? Are you actually using, you know, heat, right? Are you using gas? Because this by itself is really useless, right? You, in order to make this cooking solution work, you're gonna need yourself a gas stove, and I'll put all of this, not the gas stove, sorry, the gas canister itself. I'm gonna put it in link, the Amazon link in the description below, which, you know, let's start putting it all together so that you can see exactly what we're doing and how this works. Right? So you got it all set up, but now we're not done. Actually, it's yeah, it was a little bit open, but you need to keep it a little bit open in order to fold it all the way. Now, you obviously need the dishes, yes, in order to cook stuff in. And for this demonstration purposes, I have something that I used quite a lot. It from Gear, really cheap Chinese solution that I bought on Amazon, and it works. It works, and one of the things that you will kind of the more you go outdoors, the more you start personalizing your gear, right? That's where you can get into more expensive, more quality, more rugged stuff, which we will talk about all of these things in this video later. But as a beginner, to figure out, do you really like something like this? Is it really your style, all right? Whether you're hiking, camping, backpacking, or if you're preparing for something a little bit more serious, like a survival situation, right? Is this applicable to you? That's really one way to find out, to get the cheaper stuff, test it out in the field, see if you like it, and go from there. So here, again, I got it, some napkins here so it doesn't wobble around in the backpack. Yeah, because without these, it actually does this. So yeah, your stealth goes out of the window. But you do need something like this, all of this obviously, in order to actually cook. And then after all of this stuff, so now you see how from little tiny portable thing, it kind of escalated pretty quickly. Now we have the gas canister that we need to carry. Now we have all of these dishes. Obviously you need to the food itself that you're cooking in. Now for me, I try to keep it as minimal as possible, and I don't like to cook personally. at all. So I just go with a mountain house, which is a very expensive solution. Honestly, much more expensive than you just cooking food in the house, you know, drying stuff up and then just, you know, kind of a pre-made dried stuff, and then you putting some water, warming it up and actually cooking for yourself. This basically does it all for you. But at $10 per one of these, if you're going on, you know, a few days hike, camp, you know, backpacking trip, great. That's, you know, that's fine. But if you're planning a little bit something more advanced, something for, you know, longer periods of time, yeah, that becomes a little bit expensive, all right, at $10 per package. So, like I said, this is just one of your solutions, and hopefully with this little demonstration here, tabletop demonstration, and some of the clips that you see, the videos from my previous hikes, climbs that I've done, using this exact, this setup right here, this setup right here. Hopefully you can kind of tell if this is something what you want to deal with, or maybe you want to pick a solution, a cooking solution, right? That doesn't really involve actual heat, or maybe it does involve heat, but you're actually, you know, you're finding the wood, you're putting it together, you're starting the fire, which again, there's a lot of disadvantages in that kind of setup. Yes, you don't need to carry any of this, but obviously you are, you know, creating more of a heat signature, light signature. If we're talking about the survival situations, you don't want to do that at night. Obviously, you don't want to leave a lot of stuff after yourself so that somebody does not pick up your trail. Again, with hiking and camping, it might not be a big deal as long as you're doing it all in, you know, in a designated camp spots, right? But if you're surviving, now we are, you know, a little bit of a different. And here, you know, to demonstrate the operation, you're opening up the, you can hear the gas coming out, and then boom, and we got the fire. And I don't want to burn anything on my table, so I'm gonna turn it off. But it's very simple, and this is one of the things that I'm gonna mention because I'll probably forget. This is one of the, I think, huge advantages over the MSR Pocket Rocket is because it actually has the igniter. Yes, 6 times cheaper than the MSR Pocket Rocket, and it does have the igniter. So everything you need, you don't even need to bother with, well, kind of lighting solutions. So very, very simple. So for the application, again, it really comes down to the personal preference. Do you want to go with a setup like this, or you want to look around for something else that suits you better? Yeah, because there's plenty of cooking solutions for your hiking, camping, or survival. But let's move on to the criteria number 2. Criteria number 2 here is weight and volume. So let's say you decided to go with this. You think this is great. This is what you like. This is what you've been looking for. Folds very nice and easy. As you can see, goes straight into this container. Now, let me get my scale out of here and we'll see exactly how light or heavy this thing is. With the container, obviously. 3.7 ounce. Fantastic. I have to say, fantastic weight. Obviously, volume-wise, you can stick it in literally anywhere you want, whether you in your backpack, in your, you know, whatever. If you're carrying some kind of pouches, like usually I carry a leg pouch, you can stick it in there. You can have a separate compartment for all your food. But here's the thing, this is not the only thing you're gonna need. Obviously, you're gonna need at least a gas canister, at least one. I usually recommend carrying 2, just in case something goes wrong with this. You know, you have a second one. If you run out, you can usually tell by shaking it up a little bit. And this is not all the way full, but it's approximately for you know, under 5 ounce, right? So again, very light, again, very easy to pack. But now we're getting into more kind of not, I wouldn't say heavy stuff, right? 7.5 ounce. Again, I got rid of other pots and pans that I don't need, because all I really do with this is boil up some water, put it in this, and that's it. And I need a fork, right? So my full cooking setup is about 15-20 ounce. And volume wise, again, yes, it does take up some space in your backpack, but that's the whole kitchen. Basically, that's the whole cooking solution. The rest, for the volume wise, that you need to worry about is just what are you carrying and what are you cooking for food. So for the weight and the volume, I have to say this cooking solution is pretty good. But if you're just carrying the food that is dry food that is ready to eat right out of the packaging, and you don't need to warm it up, and you can get rid of all of this. So if you want to cut down on weight and volume, you can. This is not the most volume weight efficient cooking solution out there, just because it is portable. All right, so let's move on to the criteria number 3, ease of operation, meaning how fast and easy it is to deploy your solution, whatever it is, whatever gear it is we're talking about, and break down. And in this case, I demonstrated super simple. You take it out, you stick it on it, put your cooking, that's it, you got the oven. Super fast, super simplistic. In this regard, I have to say I'm definitely very impressed with this stove. Now there are a few options out there. There is another one that I'm gonna actually have it in my second backpack over here. I have a few different setups depending on where I'm going, depending on what I'm climbing. If it's cold weather, then I have my Osprey. And if I'm actually climbing and I have to eat on the side of the cliff, I have a little bit of a different solution for that. If I can get to it. Boom, there you go. Now this is it's obviously more expensive, much more expensive solution, but it makes it a little bit easier to I wouldn't necessarily say deploy and install, but it does make it easier and more secure, right? So if your conditions are a little bit rougher than just, you know, a nice campsite, nice flat surface where you can set up everything and just start cooking, something like this might be appreciated by you a little bit more. And basically this is exactly the same thing, only it comes in the one packaging. So everything you see here, including this cooking solution, you got it here. Now I'm not gonna concentrate on this too much in this video. If you want to see the review, a separate review like I'm doing for this stove, make sure to subscribe to this channel, and the review will be coming this way. But there are the reason why I'm bringing this up is because there are options out there, and there's quite a lot of them whenever it comes to cooking. Okay, so we're done with the ease of operation. Let's move on to the criteria number 4, ruggedness. How tough is this? Now I have to say, these things are pretty tough, and they do last through some, I mean, it's been through mud, it's been through rain, I dropped it a few times, and it's working. However, with that being said, this is my second stove. The first one kind of died on me while I was on the top of the mountain, and yeah, it was unexpected, and I was starving the whole day. Well, a day and a half. It's good that the approach trail wasn't too bad, and it was a walk off. It wasn't that bad. Okay, so I starved for a day and a half. I did have some dry food that I ran out of pretty quickly because I couldn't eat my main meal unless I was ready to, you know, crunch on it, which I would if it was a longer trip. But just keep in mind, these things, because they're only a certain amount of money, and actually let's move on to the very last criterion here, criteria number 5, price. Is it worth it? For $10, this is what it costs, $10. I think it's, yes, absolutely it is worth it. I mean, before I buy an MSR, I would rather buy 2 of these, and it's not gonna take any extra space, 1 or 2 of these, and just have one as a backup. In case if one dies, which again, it did die on me once, but I mean, it's been through some really tough times with me. Let's just say that. So I don't blame it for dying. It earned its death on the battlefield. Let's just say that. So again, for $10, it really is hard to go wrong. With the igniter, with how small it is, with how tough it is too. You know, there is no guarantee that your expensive MSR is not going to die on you. So at the end of the day, you're just taking chances. Only here you can have one extra because it's only $10 and you can afford it. No problems at all. But overall, again, you have to keep in mind that with this cooking solution, you're not just buying this for $10, you're also buying some gas canisters, and again, all the links are in the description below. You're buying a cooking set that, you know, $25, $30. Again, the links are in the description below. Your food itself, if you want to go something that is super easy, super convenient, $10 a package, which is, it says it's 2 servings, but honestly, you know, after a long day, long hike, just one meal. That's really all it is. It's just one meal. It's not 2 servings. It's not 2 meals. It's one meal. So again, it's up to you to decide whether it will work for you or not. And hopefully with this video, I mean, that's the whole goal of this channel in general, is to help you not just step up your hiking, backpacking, camping, climbing game, which I do all of that, and I love it because it gives us, the outdoors people, the appreciation for outdoors, yes, but also the ability to test our gear and put it through, see what works and what doesn't work, so that when the situation comes, the real situation where we do need to survive, that we do need to apply all of our skills that we learned, we already have a personalized rig for ourselves, and we're ready to go. We are surviving out there. So, as always, I really appreciate your time watching my videos. Again, hopefully this was helpful. Thank you for watching. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.